Okay, let me see here. What am I doing? What am I doing? Y'all share this video with your friends and your family so we can do a little house cleaning, as I like to call it. I know y'all heard about that when there's some stuff going on in the family and we got to do some house cleaning and we got to talk about this stuff that's going on in our family. So that's what we're doing today. We're talking about some house cleaning and we're going to fix some things. You know, you can't fix nothing if you ain't heard. If you don't know the problem, you can't fix nothing. You cannot fix nothing if you don't know the problem. If nobody never told you that you stink, there's something wrong with you, you may not know it. You may not pay attention to it. And you may not even realize it. Wow, it's time for, you might need to go take a shower. Dude you thought he was hating on you, but he really was looking out for your best interest. But you just didn't see it like that. Because you don't like people talking about you. Appreciate them, Miss Cole. How y'all doing? Where y'all at? Y'all punch in y'all cities and states where y'all at, so I know if this reach is doing anything. Hey, Miss Jennifer, how you doing, Queen? I'm gonna finish inviting people out. I chimed in a little early to build up the viewership because it needs to give some people time to catch on and see what we're doing. I really start at 6 p.m., but y'all chimed in early. I appreciate y'all. So we're gonna talk about, are college people really smarter? Are parents really getting their money's worth for what they paying for? Okay, wait a minute, family. Give me a second here. You know, because where I grew up at, we assess the things going on. So if we spending some money on something, you always want to take an assessment later to assess, is it working? You know, if you're taking some medicine and you still feeling the same, then you're going to realize this medicine ain't working, right? If you go to an auto shop and you say, hey, my car is making a loud noise, and you go into that auto shop and give them $1,000 to fix that loud noise, and then all of a sudden you leave the auto shop and 2 days later, it's still making that loud noise, they didn't fix the problem. So you assess that the problem was not fixed. So it's time for us to assess, are our college students really smarter than the non-college students? Because we pay a lot of money to put our young people into education so that they can come back home and help to build the community as well as take care of themselves and their family, you know? So we're going to assess that. Let's talk about that. Because I was in a panel discussion this weekend. Canada definitely in the house. Kenny Canada Roy. What's up, good brother? Where you at, brother? Tahita, how you doing, Queen? Annette, how you doing? Anna, how you doing? Shabrielle, how you doing? Sandra, how you doing? Sherry, Mr. Smith, what's going on? Jackie, how you doing? Again, y'all, we ain't here to bash nobody. We just here to talk. If y'all got a question, feel free to ask the question, but don't just jump out before I even open my mouth up and say something stupid. Let's just challenge you. So I will open up and say, no, I didn't go to college. I am a non-college graduate. I did not attend what you say they call higher education. I am a business owner. I've been a business owner for almost 30 years. So therefore, I come from the perspective of the business owner. How you doing, Queen? Meaning, I'm the guy that hires the college students, the employees. Y'all hear that? So my opinion, y'all might want to listen to my opinion because I've had a lot of employees in my 30 years almost. I've had well over 100 employees. In my 30 years of doing business, I've had well over 100 employees. So please believe me, I've owned Express Gold Plating, Molded Suspension, and Compton Wire Wheel. I've helped unlimited amounts over almost 100+ people start businesses and hire employees. So if anybody get to talk about business and employees or education, who's smart, I'm that guy. Y'all can't even see my face up here. I'm that guy. I'm still loading people on. I appreciate y'all. Give me a second. I'm the guy who has the real opinion about that because I'm the guy who gives the jobs. I decide who's going to work. So when we talking about something, we got to, when you ask a question about somebody, you want to get the most valuable opinion. And you can't ask a college student or a college student smarter than the rest. You got to ask a neutral party. And I would think I'm the neutral party because I'm the employer. I'm the guy that's going to determine, do I hire the college student or do I hire the employee? I'm sorry, do I hire the non-college student? And I sit back as an entrepreneur and assess who's doing what. Am I getting my money's worth in hiring this college student, or am I getting my money worth in hiring this person that I found off the street that just walked into my shop, said he ain't got no certificate or nothing, but he really knows his stuff, he says. So I have to assess all of these things. So if anybody has a valid opinion, it's me, because I go to, matter of fact, let me continue a little bit of my history. See, when you're an entrepreneur, universities in the city reaches out to you for these special entrepreneur meetings. And we go sitting there with the panel and during these discussions with the business owners and the politicians and the city members, and we talk about the needs of the business owners of what's going to create more jobs. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So when I go to those meetings, I go in there with my needs. Well, hey, I just started a company called Compton Wire Wheel, and I need y'all to start training more people in these particular topics. And they're looking at me like it's a numbers thing with them. It's not worth it to them if it's just TJ and you only need 5 employees. We're not going to go start teaching classes for this thing that you say is going to be a up and coming trend, not a trend, but an up and coming thing that's going to be here. They don't want to necessarily talk to me on that level because you're too small. They really listen to the people who have the big names. That's who they really listening to. Brandon, how you doing, fam? Okay, I'm still over here inviting people. Well, give me another second. So when I talk about college students, y'all, please don't get offended. Just know this is family house cleaning, and it's time to clean the house and fix some problems because we got too many people having problems. Cabo, how you doing, fam? We got too many people having problems out here, so therefore, let's talk about it. So if y'all got a question, please feel free to leave a message. Please feel free to type it on this page, and I will get to it. I got like 4 devices going on. I got YouTube going on. I have I have 2 Facebook pages going on. Y'all know I got about 3 or 4 Facebook pages, and I have Instagram going on, and all of them are under Thomas TJ Lofton. So feel free if you feel you got a better platform. If you're on YouTube, please click subscribe so that you can get the notifications when I post these videos. So if you're on Facebook, please click like, please click share, etc. Please also go to my Facebook page, my business page, which is also under the name of Thomas TJ Lofton, and it has my my logo on there, my little caricature, as they call it. So please feel free to subscribe to those pages, like those pages, follow those pages, and share those pages because I'm trying to get this good information out to us. So again, if you're on my page, I'm pretty sure a lot of college students are on here because it's a touchy subject. They don't like to be talked about, but it's not about talking about nobody. It's not about me on nobody. Like I said, I did not attend college, but I am an entrepreneur that's had over 100 employees in my almost 30 years of being in entrepreneurship. I've helped so many people, almost 100 people start businesses, if not over 100 people, and indirectly helped thousands of people start businesses because of seeds that I planted in the auto industry. So for me to come up and start talking about entrepreneurship and about where to get your employees from, I've been doing that for a whole lot of years, family. So when I talk about college students, I'll be honest with you. For the money that it requires to have someone with a degree, most likely I didn't seem like it was worth it. So I want y'all to just know how I feel about it. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. So we're gonna get into it and we're gonna talk about how this subject came to be. And I'm not trying to talk about anybody bad or anybody. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm here to fix the problem, family. I'm here to hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm on the line talking to some smart people who smart to me is people who listen to the problem, who listens to a person who's speaking and take an assessment and says, that makes sense what he's saying. I believe part of what he's saying. I believe some of what he's saying, and I'm gonna go ahead and make changes to what he's talking about because he's absolutely right. I may not agree with that part, but that part here, that did make a lot of sense what he said, and he's right. We do need to fix that. So that's what I'm looking for. The people who are willing to fix this, the people, because we got some serious issues going on in our community. So I want to talk about some things. Again, I say I'm an entrepreneur. I own Loft 10 Productions. I find the people that have no certification is much easier to work with. The more education ones comes in with lots of attitudes. True that. True that. So let me tell y'all how I agree with that, Queen. I agree with that. You know, that is absolute fact. But here's what I experienced this weekend. Y'all know I usually speak with the Black College Expos, the homeschool conferences. I'm a speaker, national speaker, international speaker, and I've spoken in all type of schools. I've been at UCLA giving a keynote speech, presentations. I've been at so many colleges across the country, and I've spoken in colleges globally via Skype and things like that. So if anybody knows about people, it's me. I've been in a lot of schools. So keep in mind, by me coming out and saying something like this, family, you know, I'm not going to be negative on myself, but just keep in mind, by me just saying this, somebody may get offended and said, y'all letting TJ come speak, and he don't even like college. He's pro-college. So why are y'all paying him to come speak? Or why are y'all having him come in these events and speak? So I really want y'all, New Birth, how you doing? I really want y'all to take my opinion and listen to it and think about what I'm saying, because I could possibly take a loss, but people who bring me on to speak, they've researched my background and they know I got a serious history of entrepreneurship. I'm a major player in this business game. So when I talk, you really want to listen. So that's why most people will let me come and speak, because they know I am the real deal. Not trying to stroke my ego. I just want y'all to know. Look me up. I used to own Express Go Plating for decades. That business was in business. Over 20 years, I owned Express Go Plating. I started another business called Compton Wire Wheels. I also owned Motor Suspension, which I shipped car parts around the world globally. I put cars in all types of, I sold cars and car parts to cars that went in movies, TV shows, videos, commercials, you know, a lot of things you seen in your TV shows or your big rap videos. I had something to do with it. So I've also employed a lot of people and helped a lot of people put businesses together. So anyway, I want to talk about some things. This weekend, I went to the Black College Expo, and I'm humbled to be invited to come back to there, you know, year after year. I think it's been about my third year, maybe. And as I was walking into a panel discussion, you know, a little early so I can get registered, let them know I was in the building. They were having another panel discussion about something. I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus, but you know, you did say what you said or whatever it is. So as I walked into the room, there was a young brother on the panel, and he said that the whole panel was flowing, said, college students are the smartest students in the world. And most 90% of business owners are college students that graduated from a HBCU. Now I know that's a complete lie. That's a straight up lie right there. It's actually the opposite. 90% of college students did not go to college. I'm sorry, 90% of business owners did not go to college, or in fact, ex-felons. That is a fact. Nina, how are you doing? So I was real offended, and he said, so he challenged the room. He said, Martin Luther King, he went to such and such as college. I don't remember what college he said it was. And he said, I know you don't know nobody smarter than Martin Luther King. Does anybody know anybody smarter than Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King went to this college and ain't nobody. Do y'all know of anybody smarter than Martin Luther King? And I was in awe. Like, I can't believe he really going here. I can't believe he really doing this. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me out to challenge the young man, I said, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm a little confused. So I raised my hand very politely. Of course, he didn't have no sources. Most college students are smart enough to know you have to come with evidence. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're coming in there with a serious debate, you have to have evidence, but it depends on who you're talking to, because where I come from, my opinion is valid. I'm one of them kind of cats that I can see around the corners. I can see things that don't exist. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes a good entrepreneur, being able to recognize an opportunity before it happens, being able to see things that ain't there, being able to put two and two together and said, I bet you this is fixing to happen. And someone will ask you for some stats and some data. So that's, to me, that's a college mentality. You have a lot of college mentalities that's out here that are oppressed upon for college students. So when I'm listening to when I'm talking to people, I can always tell who went to college through their conversation. Teresa, how you doing, family? So let me go through my list a little bit here. I got a couple of things I talked about. I want to talk about again. I told y'all I'm coming from an entrepreneur's perspective. So my opinion is, I'm not biased. I'm not a college hater. I'm just an entrepreneur that's here saying that I've had dozens of employees in my lifetime. I've had college graduates, I had non-college graduates. So therefore, I want to fix a problem, because I see the egos is real big with the college students. And I see that, we got some people that need more education, that need to learn something, maybe not just go to college, but they need to take mentorship and sit under me or something, let me teach them some game or something. They need someone to teach them something instead of hanging out in the corner drinking beer all day, thinking they're going to sell crack or something like that. Yes, those kind of people need a little more education. They need some type of learning, maybe not 4 years of education, but something taught to them. But if he's dropping numbers, foresight is one thing, quote, stats need to back that up. I agree with that. I agree. Coming with absolutes of like, oh, it's a fact that this is that many. Yes, I agree with that. So, okay, are college students really smarter than everyone else? And again, this conversation started from a young man who was on a panel discussion, and he stated that Martin Luther King was the smartest person ever of Black people, and challenged the people in the room and asked, can you name anybody smarter than Martin Luther King? Because Martin Luther King went to this particular college, this university, this HBCU. So this is why y'all should come and join college. Now, I do know there's a little bit of people who are trying to advertise business. Let me tilt this back a little bit. So they're always going to lie and tell you this is the best soda on the planet. This is the best university. This is the best car that your money can buy. This is, people are always going to exaggerate stuff just to get the business. But when we're dealing with family matters, y'all, and there's money on board, that's a problem. We can't be doing stuff like that, because it's a lot of issues going on around the country that we need to be talking about. And that's not a good look to be sitting there making conversations like that. Book smart and street smart with common sense is a very different. Many of the college trained people have big egos. And yes, they do. They do. So let me finish my quick story, then I'll get into some of these words. Now, when I was at the room, I raised my hand after the young man challenged the room. I wasn't going to say nothing. I just shook my head and I said I wasn't going to say nothing. But when he challenged, almost daring people to, do you know anybody smarter than Martin Luther King? No, some of the silliest people I've ever met, I met in college. They're convinced that the piece of paper makes them credible. Usually they just jaded. Yeah, that's true. So when the brother challenged everybody, I turned around and raised my hand because I said, maybe it's just me. Let me ask the young man, can you give us a definition of smart? Because in my opinion, a smart person is going to be the person that's going to get some type of an education and come home to the community and start some type of a business and hire all his friends or hire some of his friends and family members, invest back in his community. So what is your opinion on smart? What's your definition of smart? And the guy kind of fumbled a little bit. He really kind of like played it down, and he didn't have that. He couldn't say he owned the business. He couldn't say nothing about entrepreneurship. So he played it down a little bit and said, yeah, I agree. But he never really told me his definition of smart. So then I asked the panel, because I also noticed some of the other panel had that ego as well, talking about, I feel like everybody was paid off to act like as if college was all that plus some. So I challenged the panel. I asked a simple question. I asked them, I said, I threw my book out there a little bit. I said, I just traveled the country. I've been to 15 states, and I've been wrote a book called Gentrification. And I noticed that the high prices of real estate are affecting everyone. And we have a lot of homelessness going on around the country. So I wanted to know, how is high real estate prices affecting you guys, you college students? Can you please elaborate? Are y'all homeowners? I threw that one in there. I just threw that in there. Are y'all homeowners? And it took them quite a bit before somebody wanted to answer that question, because they were scared of that question. And then the sister got the question. Her name was Dr. Somebody. And she said, yes, gentrification is greatly affecting us. They have raised the prices of living around our school to the point that most of our students can't afford housing. Y'all hear what I just said? She said most of our students, the smartest of the smart, cannot afford housing. No one on that panel said, yes, I own a home. Now, it was not a challenge. It was not let me see, ha, ha, ha. It was, I was trying to make a point, because home ownership is always the smartest. Y'all hear what I said? And this is not for someone to bash. I'm not trying to bash anyone. It's just I'm trying to educate our people, saying this is something that we need to know. So if you're looking at me, I'm not in there to say, oh man, I own this and I had that, because I lost a lot of stuff. But that's why I was there, because I took some losses. So I don't want to see no one else take the same losses that I made. I don't want to see anyone lose their driver's license because they got babies. I don't want to see anyone else lose all of their real estate and money because they didn't have a prenup. I don't want to see anyone lose the opportunity to become a multi-billionaire because they didn't know what a patent, trademark, or a copyright was, or they didn't even know that this was intellectual property that they were operating with. So that is why I come out. So no, I was not there to make fun of anybody and talk about anyone, but I never back out of a good challenge. If you want to debate, I never back out of an opportunity to teach other people. Now, if you want to debate and be silly and talk stupid, then I don't want to get involved. I'm going to just walk away. But if you're going to be sitting in a room full of young people whose parents are about to write a check for 6 figures to teach their children something, then I'm going to say something, because I want to make sure that this money goes in the right place, because these parents don't got it. Most of them don't got it, y'all. As an entrepreneur, I was making it at one point. I wasn't balling out of control at a certain point. And when my daughter, was time for her to go to college, they looked at me like, okay, well, you don't qualify for FAFSA because you got all this. And I was like, well, damn. You know what I mean? So I see this happening all the time. So let's keep in mind, college is not free, y'all. College is not always free. Everybody don't qualify for FAFSA. So anyway, let's move it forward. Let's move it forward. Amazing. Okay, so again, we here for some solutions, family. We're not here to beat nobody down. We're here to fix the problem. So yes, we realize that the panel discussion, yes, they backed out. They didn't want to debate. They was very offended. In fact, one of the people on the panel immediately, because they would just realize they were exposed that they weren't the smartest people in the room, that college students weren't the smartest people, and they do have faults because no one on that panel of 6 had a house, owned a home. So now we've discovered that they are not perfect. I'm in the hospital right now. I just wanted to check in with you. I'm going to share this so I can go back and look at it. I appreciate it, Miss Jackson, Teresa. Appreciate you. So again, if everybody can share this, I appreciate it. Share it to your group, share it to your families, and maybe you want to address it the right way, put a name on it right, endorse it so people actually watch it. So let's talk about some things. Again, we have a lot of people who really don't have the money that's forking over money to put their children through school, all based on the fact that they were told and convinced that if you don't have a college degree, you're going to fail in life. You hear what I just said? And let's throw some numbers out again. 20% of people who graduate from high school attend college every year. Only about 20% of high school graduates attend college every year. So that's leaving 80% of people that are being thrown under the bus. Now, I want to talk about the failing school districts. I want to beat it down. I'm begging my daughter to go to a trade school instead of college, trying to convince her she can use a business to fund the college education later if she still wants to go. This coming from a college graduate. See there? At some point we have to realize if you can't afford it, please don't be scared to say you cannot afford it. When you usually can't afford something, that usually makes you dig a little deeper to find a better solution. And if you can't afford to put your child in college, then you need to be looking for a better solution. So what are better solutions than college? Real estate ownership. Pat, how you doing? Real estate ownership is one. So learning from me, taking a training class, or even sitting down to have a coaching lesson from me about a training lesson from me about real estate ownership, about entrepreneurship is a great way to become a successful person. Keep in mind, the statistics will tell you that your average business owner is making over $300,000 or $400,000 a year. That's been in business for over 4 to 5 years. That's normal, y'all. Y'all hear what I said? Depending on what they're in, you very seldomly hear, or they can buy my book. Let me bounce back. If you want to just at least start them off with this book so they can read this, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership, because that's what it's all about. That's on my Facebook page for sale, or you can go to my website, thomastjlofton.com. So starting a young person young, reading the book and talking about real estate will almost guarantee you they're going to grow up and become successful. Now, successful to me is someone who owns real estate. It's not necessarily someone who has a degree. If we have someone, let's talk about smart. What is smart? Everybody type in, what's your definition of smart, if that's okay with y'all? Jackpot, what's going on? Compton Gutter, what's going on? I'm ready to teach y'all, brother. All y'all gotta do is reach out to me. I'm sitting around, working on some stuff. So I got plenty of time. That's what I do all day. Sit at home on the phone, on Skype, coaching people, talking business, and teaching people things. So anyway, or doing consultations and trainings and wherever it is that we're gonna meet at. Smart, a sharp pain. So having now it's not even 4 years, it's a 5-year degree. Having a 5-year degree does not make you smart. So me coming from an entrepreneur perspective, you said I looked it up in the real old dictionary. Yes, because they do change them words, Tahita. That's one thing y'all got to realize. They do change the words in these dictionaries. So always get your grandma's dictionary. Get them old dictionaries that your parents had and look up these words. These new dictionaries is a joke because they keep changing the words. If you can find a dictionary from the early 1900s, you'd really be surprised. So let's talk about something real quick. So, of course, like I said, I was at let's talk about money before we get to the smart part. So I was out there walking around to the colleges. You know, y'all might recognize some of these. I was at this is who was that? Clark Atlanta. This is these people. Shaw, whoever Shaw is, I don't know. Then I was over here at these people booth. So I'm gonna just talk about one of them real quick. This is one of the popular one. Some of my little papers I can't find. I wish I had a little more time to do my research for my smart people. Won't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, y'all. Angelia, how you doing? Angela, how you doing? Andrea, how you doing? So let's look at this. We have tuition and fees. Y'all know I ain't making this up. I'm reading this. This ain't me. Like Tahita said, we got to be able to back up sometime what we saying. We got to back it up and support this. Y'all see this? I stopped. This is one person I want to talk about. Miss Elliott, how you doing? Oh, let me see up here. So what did I do? I went by some booths and I stopped and I picked up their literature to see what does college cost. I'm always talking about college and I always just throw out numbers. Like Tahita said, that's not smart. You got to have something to back it up and support. So, okay, I got a little support this time for when I'm running off at the mouth. So tuition and fees is $23,436. Can somebody do the math for me for that? $23,436 a year time 4 years. Time 5 years. Then you add another 10,000 for rooms and board. You add another $10,036. $10,036 times 5. And let's come up with the number and you tell me how much does that cost. Miss Carol, how you doing? So y'all want to do the math or y'all want me to do the math? So give me a minute. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just, some people say I'm smart, but sometimes I'll be feeling like they may be a little wrong, but you know, it is what it is. $23,436 times 5 years. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. Let me know, because I remember when I was in school, you went to school for 4 years. Now they said because of a large number of people in college, it's hard to get the classes. Therefore, you're going to pay. You have to go 5 years now. So I heard that. So that's not, I don't have it in writing, anybody, but if I'm wrong, I got college students on here. Somebody please correct me. So I'm going to go ahead, $23,436 times 5. I'm going to do the math on that. 3, 15, 18, carry 1, 20, carry 1, add 2, 15, 17, carry 1, 5, 10. That's $117,180. Somebody fact check me, please, because I don't have my calculator available. That's me doing some good old Compton math. No to date by myself, but I paid that much for your 4 years as out of state student. That's nuts. Bugsy, what's going on, fam? So $117,180 for 5 tuition and fees only. We ain't talking about books either, family. So now $10,036 times 5 years. We're gonna add that. I'm gonna add that up real quick. So 30 at 3, that's 18 here at 1, 1, 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. That's $50,180. So we're gonna add up. We're gonna add up together. We're gonna add up $117,180. That's interesting. We're gonna add up $117,180 plus 50,000 and 180. 16, 360, carry. We won't carry nothing. 7, 6. That's $167,360, y'all, for 5 years of for 5 years of your child being in college at Southern. What is this called? Clark Atlanta. That's in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been there before. Y'all know I have personally been there before. Had some debates with some young people about real estate in front of Morehouse in Clark Atlanta. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You can go back to my Facebook page and find that. So let's talk about it. Correction, I paid 4 years. What school is charging for one? Wow. See, y'all, this is really going on. Okay, so we have $167,360 for 5 years of education, housing, and board that has nothing to do with books, y'all. So you're going to add on a whole lot more money for books, and the books is crazy. I'm not even going to get into that because I think just $167,000 is a lot. Oh, wait a minute. I got to be politically correct. $167,360 is a lot of money, in my opinion, because I didn't have 10% of that when I started my business. Y'all hear what I just said? 10% of 117,000 is 17,000. I'm sorry, 11,000, something like that. What we got here? Mr. Aves, how you doing, family? So 10%, 10% of 117,000, something like 11,000 or 17,000, something like that. So again, I was at this particular school here. That's crazy. I thought 5,000 a year was a lot of money when I was going. I graduated in 05. I spent $5,000 starting the lowrider shop, y'all, and that wasn't all at one time. It took me a while to put that money together. You know what I'm saying? Eventually I started I paid $500 a month for renting a spot, and then that was first and last. That was 1,000. Then I had to buy some tools. I had to do some advertising. I had to buy a car lift to raise cars in the air. I had to buy some supplies. So rounded off, I spent about 5,000 to open up a shop. We ain't here to make you feel worse, sis. We here to open up to expose the game and talk about solutions for the game, y'all. Like I said, entrepreneurship is always the best solution. So anyway, I got some more notes. Let me scratch out what we already talked about. Okay, again, I'm talking about from an employer perspective. Like we got my brother on here, Mr. Staves in the game. He owns a business, and I know some other people on here own a business. So I'm an employer. I'm coming from an employer perspective. So I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just here to give you all my opinion on who am I going to hire and who am I not going to hire and why. And as a parent, you should be listening. And as a student, you should be listening because you need to know how your boss thinks, because I'm a boss. I'm not an employee. I haven't been an employee since I was, working at McDonald's at 15 or something. And that was purely to get my mama off my back. How about that? From a business owner's perspective, that's what this is all about. So y'all got that. Okay. Now, the goal of higher education, right? When we talk about higher education, why do we send our children off to get a higher education? Because we wanted them out of the slums. We wanted not to live in the hood no more. We wanted to move them out of the projects. So we wanted them to go off to school so that they could get a job in corporate America, with our enemies. The people don't like us. I don't know how that came about personally. How do we go from somebody who don't like us, now all of a sudden they trying to kill us and all of that, but now we're going to turn around and give our children to them to teach and give them some information. And now they turn around and say, oh, before y'all come work for me, y'all got to clean yourselves up and go over here to these schools and get some higher education so we can let y'all come in here and work for us. Come on, y'all, that's stupid. There was never a reason for anybody to have a college degree. You know why? When they working for me. You know why? Purely based on the fact that colleges didn't teach the things that I was selling. Gary, how you doing, fam? Yeah, so-called better opportunity. So how you gonna have a better opportunity? How you gonna have a better opportunity if you stressed out every day? They're trying to get you fired. They're stressing you out. They're making you work harder. They're making you do other people's work. They're treating you bad, treating you like crap. They're hanging bad stuff on your locker or putting stuff on your desk, and you can't complain because sometimes it's your boss that's giving you the problems. It's your boss that's trying to get you fired, or your supervisor. So most times you can't even complain. Gary, what's happening, fam? Rod, how you doing? So, okay, so is higher education people really smarter? Anyone who went to college most people go to college because their parents told them they had to go. My mom told me go to college, go to the military, or get your A out of my house. Plain and simple. I'm tired of you sitting in my backyard working on them gang member cars. I opted out and I got out of her house because I thought that, hey, I made enough money that I can afford to go rent me an apartment or something or get me some kind of place to stay because I'm back here working on cars. So I bounced. I got up out of there. So anyway, let's talk about it. Andrea again, how you doing? Okay, so why do people want to go to college? Because most times because their parents are pressuring them, and other times it's because the parent wanted them to go because they were told that they can get a higher education and they can go and get a job in these corporate worlds and work in the high rise and wear suits and ties and dresses to work every day, and they can look smart. So now they go to school, they get these degrees, they turn around and they join organizations, these fraternities, and their egos really take off because they know how to dance, they do all of this stuff, and that does not equate to the goal of why we sent y'all to school, y'all. The goal for going to school is when you come home, I want y'all to know how to make money. I want you to be able to make money so you can buy a home and get out my house, so you can turn around. Number two, take care of me when I get older. When I'm old enough that I can't do for myself, I want my children to be able to take care of me. Don't stick me in no damn old folks home. I want you to be able to take care of me. Three, I'm a business owner. I have stuff and things. I want you to be smart enough to manage stuff and things. That's why I sent my child off to college. Mr. Ronald, how you doing, fam? Straight set up. We got to school, come out broke, and having to be slaves to a loan for 10 years. Meanwhile, foreigners hopping off the boat, setting up a business in our neighborhoods and market and making it $1 million by the time we graduate. Y'all hear that? By the time you come home, that's exactly what happened to me when my people went off to school and did 4 years and graduated. By the time they came home, I was owning some stuff, apartment buildings, houses, had nice houses. You know what I'm saying? And though I had $1 million, period. It's like if I didn't have it liquid, I had it in real estate. So I ain't never met college students coming home to that. So that's one of the best well-known facts of how the game works. Any entrepreneur that's been in business for over 4, 5, 6 years, either they got $1 million and they made $1 million, or they own some real estate that might equate to that. Or if they haven't, they damn near right there close to it, that the things that they've made. Most people who haven't had money and they start making real money in business, they go out buy a bunch of stuff and things, so you never really can see what they got. Meaning, I know people, back in my car days, they had a whole bunch of cars. But I'm like, man, that you need to transfer some of that stuff to real estate. You need to transfer that stuff, to some more ownership stuff. Starting businesses, not just yours. So anyway, we're gonna keep going. They are telling kids to go to college, but not telling them about the debt. No, they're not. And that's the stupidest thing ever. How can you talk about college but not talk about the debt? How can you not tell them you will not be able to purchase a home when you come home, when you get out of college? You will not be able to move back. You will not be able to live in Compton where you grew up at when you get out of California, when you graduate from school. In fact, you will not make enough money that you can even afford to live in college with that degree. In fact, they're not even hiring in this particular state with that degree. You have to go to another state. So most college students go off to college, do not come home. Y'all hear what I just said? They do not come home. Most of college students that went to college, parents are homeowners on the West Coast, at least. I'm going to talk about the West Coast specifically. You know, most of them are homeowners and their parents own real estate. And when their children go off to college, they come home. They don't go home. They go stay somewhere else. And then all of a sudden, they don't come home to mom and dad's house. They will go rent a big giant house in a different city, in a different state, and they bragging about it to their parents. I got a 6,000 square foot house. Come on out here, mom and dad. Sell that house in Compton and bring me that money out here, and I can better help y'all. Come help me with these grandbabies out here. Now, again, we ain't here to talk about nobody. Dita, how you doing? Lisa, how you doing? So anyway, I want to get into my story about what we're talking about. So why do college people have big egos? Why do they think they're smarter than us? And why do they feel like they don't have to talk to people no more? You didn't get a degree. You didn't get your degree. You didn't go to a university like I did. Then I'm smarter than you, so it ain't no reason for me to be talking to you. The misconception of staying in school so that you don't have to pay loans back. Please speak on that. Carter G. Woodson talked about that miseducation of the Negro, how the students don't come home if they're a detriment to the community. Yeah, they was a detriment. They didn't come home. So yes, I talked about that the other day. I've had a good friend of mine that was an older person told me that the longer they stay in school, they ain't got to pay those student loans back. And I'm like, this person's 60 something, almost 70 years old. And they still taking classes because when the classes end, now the student loans are due. But the longer you stay in school, you never have to pay the student loans back as long as you in school continuing to rack up debt. But here's the thing. If you own real estate, if you slept through the cracks and you purchased a home because you bought a home so cheap or your mom and dad left you a home and now it's in your name, and now all of a sudden you owe that debt, you owe all that debt, they gonna take it from that real estate. Trust me. Mike, how you doing, family? Jarrell, how you doing? Gerald, how you doing, me? So anyway, yes, Carter G. Wilson talked about it. Booker T. Washington got into it with W.E. Du Bois. W.E. Du Bois wanted everybody to go to the colleges, get the higher education. Booker T. Washington wanted everybody to keep on doing what we're doing, keep a trade and produce things. So, Cavante, how you doing, fam? So anyway, I want to get back into it. Okay, so why do people go to college and why do they think they're smarter? Because they were told they're smarter, because their egos are being stroked, because they were told that they're smarter. It's instilled in them. You're smarter. They're looking at so many examples. Okay, society says Martin Luther King went to this university, so you're like Martin Luther King because you have the same education he did, and you see how smart he was. Martin Luther King, he saved black people. Not at all. Not at all. Not trying to talk about the brother. Jeffrey, how you doing? But I do recall Martin Luther King, before he passed away, he gave a speech saying his dream may have led his people into a burning house to integrate us, saying that he wanted us to go work for the white people. He wanted us to go eat at their restaurants. But no one ever talks about the fact that, let's talk about that from a business owner's perspective. How did we feel? How did the business owners feel when integration came and Martin Luther King kept pushing that? Business owners did not like Martin Luther King because now black people went from, I have no choice but to eat at the black restaurants. I have no choice but to rent from black people. I have no choice but to shop at the black stores. To now all of a sudden, oh, I don't have to buy at the black stores anymore. I can go to the white people's stores. I can go move in the white neighborhoods. I don't have to live in the black neighborhood anymore. That's what messed up the neighborhood right there. No one is smarter than anyone else. It is just that someone has more knowledge in a subject than the next. It is what you apply to yourself to do. Preach. Appreciate y'all. Agreed. I was told that the knowledge that I have came from an Ivy League college. People get mad at me and say, TJ, what Ivy League? Y'all hear what I just said? TJ, which Ivy League college did you attend? I said I did not attend college. And they said, come on, be serious, TJ. The knowledge that you're talking about comes from an Ivy League, because regular 4-year universities, regular HBCUs, or any other regular 4-year, 5-year university does not talk about the stuff that you're talking about. The thing that you're teaching, only Ivy League colleges use that language and teach these things. And what am I talking about? Entrepreneurship, not just how to work there, but how to create them, how to franchise them, how to hire employees, how to grow my business, how to do international shipping. Ivy League education, family. Y'all hear what I just said? Ivy League education only, not 5-year education, not HBCU education, but Ivy League education. Business owners conversation. Kentonay, how you doing? Y'all please share this video for me. I appreciate it. So, okay, why do our college students think they're smarter? Because again, they were told Martin Luther King went to this particular college and you got the same education that he has, and Martin Luther King was the smartest. Martin Luther King was not the smartest, family, not by far. Martin Luther King did not teach business ownership. Martin Luther King destroyed Black businesses when he turned around and had his dream and convinced white people to put your children into white schools. They had a lot of Black schools that had Black teachers, that had Black people, Black men and Black women equally teaching Black children. Y'all hear what I just said? Very important factor here. Very important factor. To get that today, you have to go to a charter school or a homeschool situation to find a place where all Black people are teaching and operating that. And that's when our children got the best educations, period. And I remember an older person telling me, quote unquote, when they integrated back in the days, I remember I was learning a lot of stuff in school, but when they integrated and we went to white schools, I didn't learn anymore because the teachers were so racist, they didn't want to teach us. Then all of a sudden now they got all this pressure about going to school, about being murdered, about being hung in a tree, about being killed and all of that stuff because of integration. Now, white folks didn't want you in their school. So if somebody don't want you there, they don't want to teach you. So now we got here years of Black children. We have years of Black children failing, can't read. It is so many people I grew up with that cannot read. And that is common because of the schools were not trying to teach them. How did I learn how to read? I'm nosy. I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep on. So anyway, let me keep going. So college students know they're special because Martin Luther King went to this particular HBCU and they think they know they got the same education. So why do college students think they're special? Because they join their fraternities. Okay, yes, you're in a fraternity. You have a jacket with a letter on it. You have this private friendship with these special people. And who are these people? These people go off to become doctors. They go off to become lawyers. They grow up to become athletes. They become all of these special things. So, and they did these great things, right? So we look at these lawyers. They don't come back and start business. 90% of the lawyers don't come back and start nothing in the Black communities. Y'all hear what I just said? 99% of doctors do not come. There are no Black hospitals pretty much in the Black communities. And I think only until recently, I just started hearing about this, that, every now and then Black people are starting to open up. It is a very small percentage. So now we're talking about, okay, lawyers aren't coming back into the Black community on large scales. We graduate a lot of African-American attorneys, but I'm not going to say we don't have any, because we do have some Black attorneys who will start their own practice and come and have a little hole in the wall law firm. And they will be the greatest thing that happened to the Black community is that we have a Black attorney in the hood that's been helping people. I remember Brother Cecil, if I'm not mistaken, he was an attorney off of Crenshaw. That brother fought for his Black people. He could have been up in Beverly Hills, up in the white neighborhoods, and doing big things, but he was like, nah, my people need my help. Y'all see how I can remember the brother's name because I remember the great things he did in the community, and his colleagues was not trying to do that. They was like, no, they're not trying to come back to the hood because they went all these years to get out the hood. They ain't going back. No vision to help your people. Okay, so here's the thing. He knew what to do with it, family. He ended up being a millionaire. How about that? when you go off to this university and you get this knowledge, the goal is you are supposed to get the knowledge, get the game, and come back home and start a business in your community that you grew up in, or a Black community, so that we can turn around and you can pass that knowledge so the young boys and girls that are walking down the street, they can see you getting out the car every day with your suit and tie on, and you tell them, I'm an attorney and I'm gonna get your daddy out of jail. I'm an attorney, I'm gonna sue those people for y'all that took your houses from gentrification. Chabriel, how you doing? How you doing, Henrietta? I'm going to turn around and defend my community because I grew up over here. I'm not going to let these people come in here and take our houses to gentrification. So now, how about we have these attorneys come back and start little businesses? It don't got to be a big old giant fancy high rise. We don't need that. We just need the service. We need you to defend us. But you're going to become a millionaire, because let me tell y'all a quick sidebar story. Let me get some water real quick. Y'all notice I don't be drinking sodas and all that crap. 99% of the stuff I drink is water. Y'all see that's 5 gallons of water. I drink one of those a week. On an average, I drink 5 gallons of water a week. I'm supposed to drink a gallon a day, so I should be drinking 7 gallons in 7 days. I should be drinking 1 gallon a day. But anyway, I'm a little bit behind, but I'm good. I don't be drinking sodas and all that. Other than that, I'm drinking a smoothie or something. But anyway, or look what else I got. I drink coconuts, straight out of the coconut. Y'all hear that? That's a coconut. I'm sidebarring real quick, y'all. People always ask, what was that? This is a coconut. Y'all see this? I take the meat out of this. I scrape the white stuff out of there, and I put it in my smoothies. I freeze it. Some people just eat it straight up like that because it's real healthy for you. But anyway, so what else are we talking about? Lawyers are supposed to come back to the community and start businesses in our community because we need your help. Now, here's the thing that I noticed. When I had my lowrider shop in Gardena, California, I had a whole lot of white attorneys driving down from Beverly Hills and would come to my shop and ask me, can they leave a stack of business cards, and they will give me a referral for all the people that I send them. Y'all hear what I just said? White attorneys, Jewish attorneys would come down from Beverly Hills, from white communities, and come into my lowrider shop and give me a stack of business cards and say, can you give these to your customers? Do you know why they did that? Because they knew my customers were successful. My customers, anybody who has enough money to go put some 20-inch and 34-inch rims on their car, or to build a $50,000 and $100,000 lowrider, has money. And when they go to jail and something goes wrong, that attorney can make them sell their car and come bring them the money. Some do come back, but it is more to say I gave back to my people. Still really don't help like they can. Yeah, some people like to write a check. Some people like to write a check. Some like to donate a little money. Him send $1,000 down there. You know, but some can't come back because they ain't got no money. They got to go work hard to pay them student loans off. I think I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of the attorneys, I was on a talk radio show with an attorney, and he said that as soon as he graduated, them $3,000 a month student loans kicked him in the butt, and he immediately had to get to work. So, okay, so now we're talking about dental people. When people come home with a degree and they got a dental license, which is not a 4-year class, I believe. We're talking about these same people can turn around, come back to the neighborhood and buy a building and start their own practice, because Black people have teeth too. Black people have money too. So anyway, let's keep it pushing. But it's powerful when you graduate and you have all these successful friends and you can say, hey, I belong to this fraternity. We got these jackets on, and my brother, my sorority brother is a doctor. My sorority other brother is a football player, and all these is my boys. I go over there and we go to the football game together. Y'all hear what I just said? We go to the football game together, and then I go back home and I'm still behind on my student loans. I still don't own a home and anything. So having a bunch of famous, nice people in your Rolodex, your friend list, don't equate to having money in the bank. Just because your buddies is doctors and lawyers and athletes don't mean you got money in the bank. So here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. You are leaving money on the table because guess what? If my partners was doctors, was lawyers and attorneys, I'd be like, can we partner up and start a law firm? Can I put up some money and start a law firm with you? You got the license and a degree. I got a little money. I got an extra office space in the back of my lowrider shop, hypothetically speaking. Can we put some money together and open up a couple of law firms throughout the communities in the Black neighborhoods? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Hey, you got your dental license. Hey, you got your doctor's license. Can we open up a practice? Instagram, you're about to go off, so please come back on because I'm going to hang it up and I'm going to cut it right back on in 1 minute and 50 seconds. So I'm going to cut it off early, so y'all cut it off and hit restart. I'm going to hit restart real quick and then y'all come right back on because that's how Instagram get down. They don't like me talking a long time. So I know that was probably the 30-minute mark. I'm reloading Instagram real quick, family. And let me find this cord. Yeah, y'all know now I'm trying to do something different. Uh-oh. Hold on. Plug that phone up and all of a sudden that bad boy wants to and they did not want us to go off and become successful. They wanted Black people to stay in the hoods on government assistance and just kill themselves off or die off from the bad food that our people eat, from the gunshots that they plant the guns in our communities. And now they're running around with black masks on. White people are running around with black masks on, pretending to be black, killing people, and blacks are taking the rap for it. And then you got, I said the food already. You got all the guns being planted in the community, all of that. And then they coming in destroying the real estate ownership value. They are scared because they either want to get away, not deal with the old community, or just don't have the backing because we're talked out of our coming back. Some do. Okay, yeah. So anyway, what we got? So yeah, we do have a lot of people come back and start businesses, but it's not enough, family. We've graduated hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands of college students over the last 20, 30 years, family. And the community still ain't changed. We still losing houses. Like I said, I done did the research. I done been around America. I done been to 15 states in 2018, some of them multiple times, and to write my book. In fact, I didn't go out of state to work on no book. I went out of state to do some stuff about talking about the auto industry and cars. And I ended up seeing all the real estate stuff. So I had to start talking about gentrification. So that's what made me write my book. So with all of this education, with all these smart young people that's graduating from these HBCUs and these 5-year colleges, why aren't they saving us from gentrification? Why don't you know how? Why aren't you buying up the real estate in our communities? That is not smart. So anyway, I want to get back onto my list because I took a little time out and wrote some stuff down. So if I had all of these friends that graduated from me, and these are my sorority brothers or your sisters, you are supposed to be asking them, Mr. Athlete, that I've been knowing since day one of we both got off the bus together to this university, and now you're a professional football player worth $50 million. Can I have a product? I got a product. I just came up with my book called Monetizing Gentrification. Can I get you to promote it for me and take some pictures with my book and tell all your athlete friends to buy my book and let me train them, my best buddy, my football playing cousin, homeboy, whatever. Can you help me to promote this book and make billions of dollars just like you did for Sony and Nike and all of these companies? Can you help me get my little business, my car business off the ground? Can I build these cars for all your football playing friends and basketball friends and all these wealthy people you know? Can you convince them to come buy from me? That's what college is about. Y'all just don't know. I work hard to get people, celebrities and people to come to my business, but I couldn't imagine if I went to school with these cats. Man, Mr. Football Player, you got 50 million. You know I graduated with my doctorate. Can we put up a hospital in the Black community? Can you finance a joint venture relationship between me and you, and we open a law firm, Mr. Football Player? My fraternity brothers, my organization, that's about thousands of us. Can we put up some money and open up some grocery stores in the Black communities? Can we open up some medical institutions in the Black communities? Can we open up some Black dental offices in the Black community? Can we create jobs? Because we have these big degrees, we have this 4-year education, and everybody's watching us because we're telling them we're the smartest. So can we put the money together and go save our communities? Can we go buy the block back? Because together we got money, we got the education, we're knowledgeable, we got these degrees, we're smarter than everybody else. So we should bail out our communities. We should go back and save our communities. That should be on a large scale situation. In fact, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If that was the case, if the universities, if these smart college students was doing that, they shut them colleges down like crazy. Y'all hear what I just said? That's how you know they ain't doing it. That's my opinion right there. But we have to think about it. White folks don't like us. So do you think your enemy is going to teach you how to be competitive with them? Do you think they're gonna teach you what they know? Not at all. So they not. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to my list. So this is why college students are not that smarter than the rest of us, because people like me, I personally went back to the community and hired a bunch of people and created. I never left the community for a long time. I left the community when my money became bigger than people needed to know. That's what made me leave the community. But other than that, I was riding around in my little my little pickup truck. I had a little 79 or something pickup truck or whatever it was. And man, I'm in the passenger seat most of the time when you see me. And I was worth a whole lot of money. Have the biggest Black-owned lowrider shop in the world, shipping lowriders around the world. You can go to Lowrider Books and look that up. But you didn't know. You didn't know I had money because my name wasn't out there like that. I didn't have to move out of the community until they start putting my face in magazines. That's when it was like, okay, it's time to move. People are watching my house. People are saying, aren't you TJ? Don't you got money? Like, didn't you just sell a car? I think you may have it in the house. Big difference, family. That's why I left the community. But if I didn't have to, if my face wasn't splattered all over magazines and all that type of stuff, I would have never left the community. I would have never left the community. So anyway, you got doctors coming home. Don't nobody even know they're a doctor. Y'all can stay in the community. So anyway, start businesses, family. You got too many people that's successful around you. Let me pick up my notes real quick and read it because I know I'm looking. Sorry about that, YouTube. I keep looking down and y'all getting a whole lot of my hat action going on. Shout out to my little sister, bought me this shirt for my birthday. Cliquish. We got a lot of the colleges students. They're cliquish. They're very cliquish. What does that mean? They hang these organizations. They're hanging together like they're better than all of us. It's all designed. Black laws are still on the books. Redlining, etc. True that. So okay, people are cliquish. So what is a clique to me? A group of people who run together and hang together and only associate together and don't really deal with other people outside that clique because they think that they're better. So I kind of fell into the clique because I'm a business owner. So I kind of only hung with business owners, you know? So Bloods and Crips, Bloods only hung with Bloods back in the days. That was a clique. Crips only hung with Crips. So we broke that up. Now Bloods and Crips hang together. Y'all hear what I just said? People growing up in Crip neighborhoods and hang with people that grew up in Blood neighborhoods, and they're friends now. They've come together. Business owners are together with people. So now we have fraternities. They're still cliquish. Churches are still cliquish. Colleges are still cliquish. Oh, you went to my college? Let me help you out. You a college graduate? Or military people are cliquish. I remember I had a used car and I was driving it home from the auction or something, and it broke down, and it had a Navy sticker on the back window. And when it broke down, this dude jumped out in the middle of the traffic and ran across traffic, white guy, to push my car out the street and asked me what branch of the Navy I was in, because he was in the Navy also. And he only did that because he thought I was in the Navy and he saw that sticker in the back window. When I told him I didn't go to the Navy, I just bought that car, he was like, he looked at me like, why the hell did I jump out? I wish I would have knew that before I ran across traffic. Click. We got to get out of that click bullshit, y'all. Straight up. Excuse my language. Don't mean to be offensive. We have to get out of that click stuff. That ain't helping us as a community. Okay. Big words. College students use a lot of big words. Okay. They went to school a lot of years. They come home. They use a whole lot of big words that everybody cannot use, family. They don't work everywhere. So how do I know? When I was working on another book about my life story back in the days. And then I had all them Toastmaster classes, and I learned a lot of big words because college students were the ones teaching the classes. So when I wrote my first book, was working on my first book, it never went to publish yet because I had to put the brakes on it because stuff was going on. I couldn't be talking about everything. So fast forward the story. When I was working on the book, do you know that they said that 70% of you won't be able to sell your book if you use you will not be able to sell a lot of books because over 70-80% of America don't have a college degree. Y'all hear what I just said? Too many. They told me to write my book based on a 7th grade reading level if I want to sell more people. So basically, people that know the big words, these politicians, these college graduates, they're basically writing books for themselves. This is for other college graduates. You know what I'm saying? When they come in and write these books with big words, but they are encouraged not to write using big words when you write a book because it's not very marketable. Y'all hear what I just said? So all of those big words don't really help. It sounds good when you're standing in Congress. It sounds really good when you're an attorney and you're talking back to the judge. But then does it really sound good? Because that's why we have to hire attorneys, because we don't understand the language. You have to hire an attorney because most people don't understand the language they're using. We don't know what these big words are. Just like say business ownership. Now they say, oh, that's entrepreneurship. People are like, what's an entrepreneur? I just want to own a business. I don't even know what an entrepreneur is. Like it's the same thing. You know, it's just a fancy way of saying it. Most people aren't working above a 4th grade reading level. Got that from a newspaper editor. How about that? See what I'm saying? So 4th and 7th grade reading levels, that's what these big people, that's what these big, Yahoo News and Google News and the Wall Street Journal, these cats ain't using these major big words because they know their viewership would drop. Yumi, how you doing? Okay, what else we got here? Okay, we talking about the big words. Okay, and you know what? I'm very notorious for making up my own words, and I call them TJ-isms. Y'all hear what I just said? TJ-isms, meaning I just made that up. So whenever I'm around a college student, they tell me that's not a word. Don't say that anymore. Y'all hear what I just said? I've had more than one person tell me, what did you just say? I said such and such. They said, that's not a word, TJ. Don't say that anymore. That makes you look stupid. Y'all hear what I just said? But funny thing was, you knew exactly what I meant when I said it. But here's the thing about it. They're missing the creative side of intellectual property. If that's not a word and nobody used it and you can't find it in the dictionary, how about we go patent that word? How about we trademark that word? How about I write a book with some TJ-isms in it? Y'all hear what I'm saying? How about we have our own language? If the young people are exposed or told about their economic values and about their community conditions before they go to college and the things needed, I think things will be a lot different. Absolutely right. I agree with that. That's funny. That's how language evolves. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, but I know certain people tend to be more logical than others. Yeah, you got a lot of logical people. I'm a very logical person because I'm a critical thinker. So if you come to me and present the fact, just like with religion, don't nobody get offended. Don't nobody get offended. When somebody came to me, I was religious at first. I had somewhat of certain beliefs. I was questionable, but when somebody presented the evidence to me, when someone presented the facts, the data to me, and told me about this religion, immediately I had to change my beliefs because the facts were proven. Most people don't think that way. Hey, bootylicious wasn't the word until when black people were saying bootylicious, it wasn't the word until white people patented it and trademarked it and made it a word. And so now it's a word. Celebrity Mac, what's up, brother? Rare magician, how you doing, fam? So this is the opportunity that we're missing out on. If you're telling people that's not a word, don't say that anymore. How about we recognize this dude is real serious? Like I remember Baby, the rapper dude, the multi-millionaire rapper guy that owned Lil Wayne, and he said when Lil Wayne put in his song, he said bling 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 bling. That wasn't a word either. But Baby, the multi-millionaire, said, I wish I would have patented that shit. Everybody in the world saying that shit. I wish I would have patented it. Quote unquote from Baby himself said he didn't realize the value that that Lil Wayne was kicking out new words that whatever Lil Wayne say is gonna be the word that everybody gonna use. Y'all hear what I said? He didn't realize he had that opportunity for an entrepreneurship situation. He could have trademarked that word, patented, copyright, everything it takes to keep that. So anyway, let's keep it going. We got to be able to recognize money-making opportunities. So if someone is doing things that is not normal, we need to be thinking entrepreneurship type of stuff. Jade, how you doing, fam? Okay. College students will say you don't have anything business. Wait, college students will say. Okay, now we got all of these. This is things. I should do a thing called things that a college student would say. Y'all hear what I just said? Things that a college student would say. Somebody should make that book because I don't have. It's so much stuff that I can make. So I'm gonna throw some some IT out there to y'all. Some IP, some intellectual property that ain't mine. I ain't patented yet, but y'all should take it. Things that a college student would say. So what are some things that a college student would say? I hear this all the time. I don't want nobody that ain't got what I got. Meaning I went to college for 4 years, 5 years, and I got my doctorate. So I got me a house, I got me a nice car. And so I got to have somebody that got what I got, or I can't be with that person. That's only a college student will say something like that I hear. I have ran across so many college students that are making statements like that. And that don't make no sense to me because I know too many college students that are single, too many sisters that set the bar way up here. No offense, sisters. If that shoe fits you, then it's on you. Please wear it. Please try it on because it fits. But if it don't fit you, I'm not talking about you. There's too many people that says, I'm looking for somebody that fit where I'm at. I'm way up here. So if I can't find nobody that's up here with me that got a degree like I got, then we ain't getting married. Well, now she's 60 and 70 years old, and I'm seeing this on the norm. Now they've surpassed the time to where they can bear children. You're 49 and 52, and you can't have children no more because you were waiting on someone that was up here like you. You see what I'm saying, y'all? That makes no sense to me. But yet, the people who are not degreed, who are not educated, who went off and got a job at the post office, didn't have their mind set so high up. They just said, I just want a good person, a good man, or a good woman. You see what I'm saying? I don't matter if I make more money than he or she. All that matters is he or she loves me and we can have a family. He'd make a good father, she'd make a good mother. Then let's make this work. You see what I'm saying? Instead of sitting back talking about if she's not on my level or he's not on my level, they can't, I'm not going to marry them. I'm not going to be with them. I can't date anyone that don't have what I have. That's the thing. That's one of the main things that I only hear college students say. Only college students. Another thing was, like I just said earlier, that's not a word. Don't say that anymore. I only hear college students say stuff like that. So what else I got here? Oh, so college students will say, you can't teach me about that if you don't have it yourself. Stephanie, how you doing, family? If you don't own a home, you can't teach me about owning a home. If you don't own a business, you can't teach me about owning a business. If you don't have a Range Rover, you can't tell me about a Range Rover. Somebody would always say, TJ, somebody asked me today, have you ever worked on a Range Rover? I hope I ain't putting nobody out there. The person that said that to me, I love you. You're my family. We friends. But that is things that only a college student would say. Because a person like me, you ain't never had a business. No, you don't currently have a business, so you can't tell me about a business, is what a person would say. Now, that's what a college student would say. If you ain't said this, I'm not talking to you. I'm just trying to fix things in our community. So we're discussing things of why people look at each other kind of weird and why some people think they're smarter than the next. But it's not smart. These things that we're discussing is not smart. It's limiting ourselves, people's selves. I don't want to be dummy myself down if he or she doesn't understand me. Well, first of all, let's talk about that. It's not dumbing yourself down, it's pulling the other person up. That's what it's really called. You're pulling the other person up. You're going to teach them something. So if you meet a person like me, I remember I was dating a doctor. She was really smart. Really, really. Okay, let me rephrase that. She was very smart in the medical field. I'll leave it right there. She was very smart in the medical field. We'll leave that right there. So when I was dating her, she would always come home talking about surgical terms and things that she's dealt with at the office, things that was going on at the hospital. So all of a sudden, maybe months into the relationship, she's still talking about stuff. And I knew exactly what she was saying. And I would come back at her with medical terms. Did you try this? Did you try that? And she looked at me like, what you know about that? How do you know that I could use that? How did you know that was the solution? Oh, well, I remember you told me that months ago. And it blew her mind. It blew her mind. She was like, he really was paying attention. Yes, I was paying attention because I'm interested in you. We're together. I'm seeing you a lot. So what you know, I want to know. That's why I don't want to be with people who know things that I don't care to learn. You know what I'm saying? If you working at a trash dump, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, and all you talking about is the trash and oh yeah, it's a whole lot of shit that people shitting in the toilet, shitting on the ground, and pooping on it. I don't want to hear that. So I don't want to date you if that's all you got to talk about. So I kind of want to date someone where I can learn something that, okay, if you're my girlfriend and you're an attorney, I'm interested in opening up a law firm. If you're my girlfriend and you're a doctor, I'm interested in opening up a doctor. If you're my girlfriend and you're a teacher, I'm interested in starting a school based on your information that you give. So I adapt from people. So don't think, ladies, if you dating a person, if you meet a person and they're not on the same level, don't come in with that thought thinking, I don't want to dumb myself down to be with this person. Because the reality is a smart brother wants to date you because he knows you can pull him up. Y'all hear what I just said? Or a smart sister wants to date you because she knows you can pull her up. That's how that's supposed to go. And that is another thing that a college student will say. I don't want to date someone because I don't want to be dumbing myself down. I'm a brain surgeon and I don't want to dumb myself down. Well, first of all, you have to assess the person that you're talking to. If you are a brain surgeon and you can take brains out of heads and put it in another head, and you turn around and you date TJ the car builder, and we get together and we start sleeping and get married and be here for a long time, trust me, I will be able to go in there and do that surgery too. If you come home every night talking to me about how you had to cut the such and such bloodline and you put these special clips on it to hold the blood flow, and I turned it down to 20%, and I wish I would have turned it to 22%, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to understand what you're saying, and it's like a test. It's like school now. You're my teacher. I want to learn, and you're going to bring me up. So when I go around your friends and we're talking and all your friends are doctors or all your friends are attorneys, I'm going to remember all the things that you said. And I'm going to be able to bounce those same words off of their friends. And your friends are going to think that I'm a doctor as well, or I'm an attorney as well, because of the person that I was. So I love real estate. All I talk about is real estate. All I talk about is lowriders. And most of the women that I dated didn't know about real estate or lowriders and custom cars and international business. But most of the women that I used to date, now they own real estate and they're out there trying to buy apartment buildings. You know why? Because I brought them up. Y'all hear what I just said? Now, I didn't want to date nobody that didn't have what I had, that didn't own no houses. But when I realized that they were more like a student and they listening to what I'm talking about, they're not rejecting this information, then I can be with that person. If you seem interested and you want to learn and you're able to regurgitate the things that I talk about and you're curious to be like, baby, what's that book you're reading? You mind if I take a look at it? And then all of a sudden in my spare time, you're noticing me. Hey, I was just looking at page 3, and what's an escrow? What's an appraisal? You know, I was curious about that appraisal thing. Do you care to elaborate for me and help me out with that? You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious about what this appraisal thing is. And I'm curious about how does the interest rate to loans work? That is the kind of person you want to be with, because that person is interested in what you're doing. Let me get a little more water, y'all. Hold on one second. I remember when I got married once back in the days, this young lady that I was dating, my ex-wife, she was an herbist. She wanted to be an herbist. And she said, if I can make your asthma go away, would you eat whatever I want you to eat? And I just started laughing. Like, I'd have been in the hospital for asthma, and my doctor told me that I will have to grow out of asthma. I ain't never just gonna you're gonna have asthma for almost the rest of your life, brother. And I believe that because the doctor told me. So when my ex-wife said, TJ, if I can make your asthma go away, would you eat whatever it is I gave you? I said, yes, I sure would, honey. Whatever you say, I'll eat it. Because I already knew mentally, doctor said that asthma ain't going nowhere. So just dig in and deal with it. So fast forward the story, she took away my dairy products and I couldn't eat ice cream no more. I couldn't eat eggs for breakfast. I couldn't eat none of that stuff. And I was mad about it. But I'm listening to what she said. She cooking my breakfast and my food. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen for real quick. All of a sudden, I swear it was like a week later, I wasn't coughing as much. All of a sudden I could breathe again. I was like, whoa. I don't need an inhaler anymore. Wait a minute. Now 2 weeks later, my asthma gone. I ain't coughing. I ain't used the inhaler in over 2 weeks, and that was unheard of. So immediately I'm gonna listen to everything you say. Now I'm no longer playing games with her. It's like, baby, what we eating today? What you gonna cook us tomorrow, babe? We ain't eating meat no more. Well, hell, let's be vegetarian. Solve the problem. What's going on in our communities? I have one big issue that I have, family, and I really want to talk about this. I have a real issue with people, doctors and experts. Doctors aren't experts. That's why they're practicing. Absolutely. They're practicing medicine at a hospital. What is hospice? A hospice is a place to die. Y'all hear what I just said? Doctors are practicing medicine, like Tahita said. They're practicing. They don't know about medicine. They are practicing medicine. And by the way, no doctor has ever cured anything other than Dr. Sebi. How about that? All of these well-paid doctors ain't curing nothing. So anyway, you smart. Dr. Sebi said, quote unquote, I was with Dr. Sebi and he was in a meeting and they were gonna when they passed that law saying that that when Obamacare came into play, they said that you can that's right, get yourself a healer. When Dr. Sebi, Ancestor Sebi, rest in peace. Y'all know that was my Jegna. Y'all go back, look on my YouTube page. Y'all know I ain't making this up. TJ and Dr. Sebi on my YouTube page. You'll see Dr. Sebi endorsing me because he thought I was smart. Y'all hear that, brothers and sisters? Dr. Sebi endorsed me and said, TJ's smart. Y'all need to listen to that brother. But anyway, matter of fact, I had to put his name on the back of my book because that brother really inspired me to do this, what I'm doing right now. I say Dr. Sebi on the back of my book, family. Y'all can go to if y'all got my book, y'all see I put his name on there. And that statement that's on the back of my book, you will hear it come out of his mouth on my YouTube page. Just type in TJ and Dr. Sebi. Let me pay some bills real quick, y'all. This Sunday I'll be in Gardena, California, at giving a presentation on how to monetize gentrification, how to make money, y'all, in 2019. What does the future of Black America look like? How are we supposed to start businesses? Offering nothing but solutions, family. Telling y'all how to make money in business ownership and in real estate. The new things around the community, around the nation. After me traveling the country for 15 states, and some of those states I've been to more 5 or 6, 7 times on top of that. So last year, I done probably been on the airplane going in one direction, probably over 25 times, 30 times going to one state, to the same state, hypothetically speaking. So I'd have been to 15 states, but like Atlanta, I've been to Atlanta about 12 times last year. I've been to DC about 3 or 4 times last year. So the DMV area, all following this gentrification and entrepreneurship, giving presentations, teaching people about business. So if y'all want to please register for my event, go to thomastjlofton.com. And you'll see on my event page, Eventbrite page, you can go to and register for that event called Monetizing Gentrification. Or if you just want to pick up that book, y'all can go to my website, and it's also on there as well. $31 to your door, or y'all can give me a call at Thomas T or 310-619-3954. Or all my information on how to get the book is on my Facebook page as well. Please click subscribe if you're on my YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, please click subscribe. If you're following me on Facebook, please click like. Please click share these videos to your group. So getting back to it, I have an issue with problems. I'm about solutions, family. So in order to fix the problem, I like to pull my shovel out, and let's dig and see. Let's dig deep. Let's go in deep and figure this out. So I start talking to all these people and asking what's the problem. So now I'm sitting down doing my assessment of the problem. And you know what I realized, family? You have to be a teacher. You have to have a degree to be a teacher. Y'all hear what I just said? You have to have a degree to be a teacher in a public school. If I'm wrong, someone please tell me. If you are a full-time teacher, and you are teaching in a school, you have to have a 4-year degree or at minimum a 2-year degree. But if you are a full-time teacher teaching any big subject, and you have to have a degree, meaning you are college educated. Golden, how you doing, family? So when I look at all the failing young Black children, I ask, whose fault is it? If all the people that are teaching our children are educators, all have degrees. They have all Black people, a lot of them went to HBCUs. So of course I'm holding the teachers accountable. If they're all, Sherry, how you doing, family? Hold on, wait a minute, let me fix that. If the teachers have all come from universities, family, and they're all teaching our children, and we're graduating children who can't read, we're graduating children straight to the prison pipeline, we're graduating children who don't have any sense and any knowledge. And I look at, the first place I look at is what's wrong with the child. Second place I look at is who's the teacher. And if all the teachers been to universities and all the teachers have college degrees, and y'all know, y'all follow me, I've been in dozens of schools around America, and I've spoken to universities overseas in Africa and other countries, so via Skype. So I know that they have told me, TJ, if you want to come and help to fix the problem, you're going to have to get a college degree to come into a university and teach. You cannot go to teach at a university without a degree. Now, if that is the case, I hold the teachers accountable. You got degrees, so what happened? It is not the teacher, it is the curriculum. Okay, if that is the case, the teachers are the ones who's supposed to say something about it as a problem. Let's fix the problem. I'm not pointing the finger, y'all. We here to figure out the solution. So the sister just said it's the curriculum. Well, who's writing the curriculum? It's another setup. White teachers get the loans, perfect their method. They move them on to a better school. Absolutely. White people get paid good. They get good loans. They get cheaper loans to buy houses in black communities. Y'all hear that? They paying white people to move in the black community, and they getting a very cheap interest rate on that loan. That's why white people can move in. They're not worried about these houses being so expensive because they know they're getting that white loan, that white privilege loan. So if the house is $1 million and the average interest rate is going to make the interest rate 6 or 7%, and that means the mortgage is going to be 6 to 8,000. White people will get it at a 1% interest rate and make the mortgage payment $2,200 a month for $1 million home, where the black people trying to buy that same house, it's going to cost them 6 to 8,000 a month. So yes, they do play games like that. And the same thing with student loans. Teachers will work in the black community and they will dismiss their student loans after 5 years, but they don't do that for black people. So this is why I wonder, why are we playing into that system anyway? Again, we are here to fix the problems, family. So curriculums. I'm out here and I'm being very careful with my word. Y'all know I'm so much into fixing the problem. So now I am writing curriculums. Y'all hear that? Y'all see this book? My book is actually a workbook. I wrote this book for the black homeschoolers because the black homeschoolers want to teach their children about starting businesses and about real estate, and they want their children to have a real world education and understanding of what's going on around the country that affects them. So here is the workbook for the homeschoolers and the people who are teaching their children at home. So that's why I wrote that book. So I'm working on a curriculum to go into regular schools. So my question is, why aren't the teachers doing that? It is another setup. We already read that when I read that. Okay. So what's holding us back from teachers writing a real curriculum? But here's the thing though. If a teacher has never ran a business and a teacher has an employee mindset, because a teacher was taught how to get a good job. Anybody that's been to school was taught how to get a good job, how to fill out an application, how to remember stuff. Please do not take offense, family. Please do not take offense. Cabia Kameen did that. He was giving it away. I contacted him for a copy. Apparently, I was the only one to contact him out of an abundance of 100 plus. See how that works out? You know, we got people giving the game away and people don't want it. It's an Afrocentric curriculum and it's amazing. See, you know, we got to look at stuff like that. Why aren't people writing curriculums and putting it in schools? I know a good friend of mine, a brother, he wrote a curriculum and he also had it in the schools, and he was the one teaching me the game on how to get books into the school system. And long before I wrote this book, you know, I was thinking about doing that, and that I ended up coming out with the real estate curriculum. And I'm gonna kind of leave it on that note because it's still in the making. But family, we need y'all to start starting businesses. Smart is starting businesses and fixing the problem, family. Creating jobs in our own communities. Okay, I'm pushing 635. Okay, what else we got? End result. We got to continue to work together, but now on a larger scale, family. You know, I think that because we look at it like this, because a lot of people are not working together, because we have this cliquish situation, we have the college students who think they're smarter than everybody else. You know, they're not communicating with non-college. They're not communicating with the non-college students, with the business owners, the people who know how to make money, because they're looking at the business owner like, you know, when the college student looks at a black business owner, they're looking at, why don't he have this? Why is his business not like the white people's businesses? Why don't he have a big, giant, shiny building like the white people have? Why don't he have brand new this and brand new that? So therefore, they look down on black business owners and they don't think that they can help them because they don't have the stuff that white people got. So, but that's a problem, because we need their help. We need you to tell us what they got and how to get that stuff if you recognize it. So Because of that, we leaving money on the table. You should be able to come back to the business owner in your community that don't have something or their prices is too high in your belief, and you should be able to say, hey, I got football friends and doctors and attorney friends, and they all got money, and I'm gonna talk to them about investing in your little business or in your product you got over here, because that makes sense. So I need my college students, the graduates, smart to me would be people who are investing back in the community, period, y'all. I'm gonna break it down and we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. A smart person to me is not a person who has a degree. A smart person to me is not, just because you have a degree does not make you smart. Just because, now, why am I saying that? Hold on. The Common Core curriculum created done by Bill Gates, which he don't like black people really, which paid for it to go to the public school system to keep the new generation of the same levels of education. Common Core is not a good curriculum. That's a problem. Andrea, how you doing, Queen? Common Core, you can't expect, we got students that's in some school districts speaking 3 and 4 languages. Now, all of a sudden, if they bring that same curriculum to all the other schools, you're going to have a lot of people failing because they can't pass this brand new test. And that's a big problem we have. You know what I'm saying? You got to be raised in that from kindergarten to turn around and start speaking 3 languages. I was talking to some people in Palos Verdes, California, and they were telling me that their children speak 2 and 3 languages, but they've been taking they were like in the 5th grade speaking languages like that. So they've had these languages, these different languages, since they was in the kindergarten. So you can't throw a curriculum like that into a junior high school and think that they're smarter. Just like some school districts is working on trigonometry and geometry, and then you go back to the black school districts, they barely own algebra. You know what I'm saying? They barely learn their timetable. So you can't throw a trigonometry in there. They all gonna fail. So anyway, and I'm not educated enough on Common Core, but I was just told it was a bad thing and it was gonna work out bad, and that's what they wanted. But anyway, so to get into wrapping up form of this, family, a smart person, a college student, just because you have a degree and your name is doctor, that does not make you smart. If you got student loans, Mike, I would ask you these questions, just like I asked that panel discussion of the brother who was at the event on Saturday. I asked them, do you have a home? Do you own a home? No, you do not. Do you have any intentions on buying a home anytime soon? No, you can't, because you got student loans. So that's not smart. You didn't do the research enough. You were only limited to what was told to you about education. So you only researched education. You researched everything that it took to get into that school. You did not research enough about what's going to happen after school. Most people don't even research, are there going to be jobs after they graduate from this 5-year of education? So that's stupid to me. You need to know, are you going to be able to get a job? Most people don't know that nobody's hiring in the state that they live, so they're going to have to move to a different state. So they don't know that they're not going to be able to come home when they go out of school. When they go out of state to school, they don't realize that they ain't coming home because there ain't no jobs at home that's willing to hire a black person. You know, they should have known that before they went. You know, so that's another thing that you're supposed to research, and you're supposed to be researching real estate. How much is real estate today? And 5 years from now, what is the projected rate? What are projections of how much real estate is going to be? And are you going to be able to afford a home? If you are not a homeowner, then that's not smart, because plain and simple, we got people who are right now who coming out of high school and decide, you know what, I'm going to hustle and then I'm going to buy some real estate, and I'm gonna just start buying houses and fixing them up and renting them out. And that's it. I'm gonna just do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I see these houses or 50,000 in Atlanta and 75,000 in California City and further out here in Paris, California, Alabama, whatever. I'm just gonna buy houses and rent them out, and then they'll earn $200,000-300,000 a year, and then they'll also be benefiting off of the equity. Okay, that's smart. They don't have no degree, but they own multiple pieces of property rented out. These people will become a millionaire. Okay, now you got smart. What does smart look like to me? Smart is someone who opens a little bitty hole in the wall. No, Smart is someone who graduates from the 12th grade and says, I'm going to go to Leimert Park and I'm going to start selling lemonade. Y'all hear what I just said? I'm going to start selling lemonade or some type of health food drinks that I make. My grandma will make it for me all the time. And I notice don't nobody else know what it is. They don't make it, but we love it. So I'm going to take grandma's recipe and I'm going to go get a free booth in Leimert Park here or wherever else I can set up a street vending booth, and I'm gonna sell some of that lemonade. And then all of a sudden, in 4 years from now, they all of a sudden they moved into a brick and mortar. Now they have 2 or 3 stores, and now they're selling bottles of this special grandma's lemonade to grocery stores all around the nation. That's smart. That's real smart. So if someone says, TJ, I'm not going to go to college. My granddad got $50,000 to pay for my first year of college. He told me to use it the best way he think I can. So instead of me taking that 50 racks and going to give it to Southern or Clark Atlanta, which y'all see I got the paperwork over here about these universities and how much it costs, I'm going to take that 50 racks, and I'm going to take grandma's recipe, and I'm going to turn around and go make this special lemonade. This vegan lemonade, hypothetically speaking, or whatever, this special coconut water where we use the basis coconut and we turn around and put some fruits and vegetables and brown rice on there and make a treat, a lunch snack, and sell them for $8. I'm gonna start a business doing that because people say I ain't never seen a coconut with food in it. Y'all hear what I just said? So if someone told me they was thinking about taking that 50 racks and doing that, I would like that. I think that's real smart. That is real smart. If someone tell me I'm gonna take that 50 racks and I'm gonna go drop it down on 5 years of university, and I'm only gonna have to get another $67,000 in student loans, and then I'll be cool because I'm paying half of it. That's stupid to me, in my personal opinion, y'all. That's stupid because you got more than enough money to start a business. Now, keep in mind, I just said earlier on, I had less than $5,000 and I started a multi-million-dollar business, which branched off into 2 other million-dollar businesses. Y'all hear what I just said? Less than $5,000. So you're going to take grandpa's 50 racks and go invest it in a business. I mean, go invest it in a degree. That's insanity to me. That's not smart. But I'm not here to blast anybody. I'm here to tell you these are things that's going on, so you need to know that. Colleges are not going to tell you that. The college is going to tell you everything you need to know about getting this money so you can get in a university. They're going to tell you everything that's special about a university. And I'm not bashing them because that's what you're supposed to do as a business owner. Y'all got to remember, it's a business. College is a business. That's what it is, family. It's a business. So that is not smart, though, family. Here's the thing. If you say, I'm gonna start a doctor's office, let me clean that up. Hold on, let me rewind that and go back a little bit. Let me get a little water first. Hold on. If you say that I'm gonna take that 50 racks and I'm gonna turn around and invest it into some school education because I'm going to be a doctor and I'm gonna come back to the community and start a doctor's office, or I'm going to invest in a law firm with my degree after I get home from college. That is a good investment. That's a good idea. Yes, I will say yes, $100,000, or $200,000 worth of loans to get your doctor's degrees and your certificates or diplomas, whatever you get when you become a doctor or an attorney. If you're going to take that idea and come home and start a business in it in your community, that is smart. But if you're going to get $100,000 worth of debt to go get a job paying you $40,000 to $60,000, that ain't smart at all. Because 1, you ain't never going to pay them student loans off. But 2, you do want to turn around and take that money and invest it in a business and bring it back to your community. And that way you ain't got to be stressed out about your coworkers or somebody trying to make you lose your job. All you'll be doing is helping your community and fattening your pockets, because I don't know if y'all realize it, we do got 1.4 trillion coming in a year, so that they tell us it's probably more than that. 24/7, how you doing? Rod Juice, how you doing, family? Dazin, how you doing? So anyway, family, that's what it's all about. I just try to give solutions to the community, y'all, because the problem is around the country, our people are losing in a major way. You got people who are renting big, fancy, nice houses and got degrees in front of their names, and they struggling, family, but because their family don't have what they have, they think they doing better. But that's not good, family. That ain't smart. That's what I want to tell you. It ain't smart. It's not smart. If you don't own a business, it's not smart. If you got debt and you own a business, you in position to pay that debt off and become a multimillionaire. If you're going to get a job in this and you planning on staying an employee, that ain't smart, family. So when I see my college students, my college people coming home and they always try to want to debate me or something, that is not smart because I'm too well educated in entrepreneurship. I know that you can take less than $5,000 and make millions of dollars. So you turn around and say you got $117,000 to start a business. I'm gonna tell you straight how to start a business and become a multimillionaire, family. So you tell me you got $117,000, or you tell me you got 50,000, you tell me you got 10,000. I'm gonna teach you how to start a $1 million business, plain and simple. So it's not smart to spend that kind of money to get a job, but it's very smart to spend that money to start a business. So if you spending a lot of money, $200,000 to become a scientist, and you're gonna come back home to the community and you're gonna create some patents, some trademarks, and some copyrights, and you're gonna start manufacturing products, man, that's brilliant, actually. Because I know for a fact you're gonna pay that money off real quick. You're gonna pay them students off real quick, loans off real quick, as soon as you sell one of them trades or soon as one of them patents or something, and or you start monetizing that patent, you're gonna really make some money. Like I wrote my book. Now I'm making money off of my book. So that was smart. Now, if it took me, I can say that I spent about 40, 50,000. I probably got more than that in traveling around the country in 2018, staying in different states for over a week. It cost me a lot of money to write this book. But guess what? One person can call me and say, TJ, we work for this particular school district and we like to buy 1 million of those books. Now I didn't recover my money back times 1 million. You see what I'm saying? And a whole lot. So that was smart. That was a smart investment because nobody's talking about gentrification like me. People are talking about the problem, but not too many people are talking about the solution. So anyway, anybody got any questions for me? I hope I answered some thoughts about, is that smart? So with smart, to sum it up, y'all, the conversation began based on the fact that I went to a event this past weekend, and someone in the event was saying college students are smarter than everybody else. And the smartest Black people all went to universities, and all the smart people are all Black business owners are all university people. All of them went to HBCU. And I said, that's a dang lie. That is not true by a long shot. So of course that led me to come back home and set up set up this event on Facebook and say, let's talk about it. So that's what we're doing. Shabriel, how you doing, family? So that's what we're doing. So my thoughts of this is, my goal today was to clean some, some house cleaning, do some house cleaning, and let's talk about solutions, family. So what does smart look like to me? Okay, what smart don't look like is going somewhere, paying a bunch of money for something that you ain't never gonna make that money back. Something that's gonna put you in debt. That's a problem. That's not smart. What does smart look like to me? Smart is someone who starts investing in real estate real young. Smart is some people who start teaching their children about real estate and entrepreneurship at a young age. That's real smart to me. Someone who comes back home to the community and start businesses with those degrees, that's real smart. That's rocket scientist, because I know you're going to be able to pay that loan back. Herbert, how you doing, family? Henry, how you doing? Tahita again, how you doing? That's smart. A person who starts a business, a person who goes and gets a degree and spend $200,000 on 5 years or 10 years of education, and you come home and start a business in your community, you're going to be tapped into that $1.4 trillion. So in 4 or 5 years, most likely you'll be a millionaire and you will have paid them student loans off. So that is a good investment. Y'all hear what I just said? That is a good investment, and that is smart. Now, if you turn around and you dumping $117,000 to $200,000 into getting a job, that's gonna pay you 40 to 80,000, and you want to put that word doctor in front of your name, then that's stupid. That ain't smart. What's up, bro? How you doing, fam? That ain't smart, family. So smart is business ownership. Smart is real estate ownership. I don't care if you got the word doctor in front of your name. If you don't invest in some type of real estate, if you ain't having an ownership situation where you own a business or something, that is not smart. I can't really respect that. We have a lot of African doctors. I was talking to some doctors at the university, some educators at the university in Johannesburg, South Africa, and they were telling me, quote unquote, a lot of our doctors, a lot of our African people who become doctors, they go to America, they get their degrees, they make all that money, and they don't come home and help their people. That ain't smart. So the people out there still suffering. So how do you feel that your brothers and sisters is out there suffering, and you ain't even trying to go out there and open up? They ain't got clean water, and you ain't trying to open up a grocery store or a little mini market or some type of business where you can create some kind of jobs? I wouldn't feel too good about that. So when I started building lowriders and I started having money, I was doing good and my family was doing great. And I felt that was cool, but I couldn't go back to my neighborhood because people were struggling. So I had to fix that. I had to turn around. And go create some jobs. So, I put a lot of my homeboys in tow trucks, and those tow trucks start paying for themselves. And all of a sudden, them cats started their own tow truck businesses, and they all doing great. So now I don't feel so guilty that, oh man, I was living over here in this nice home. I was having money and I was doing great. And then all of a sudden, my homeboys are suffering and struggling, going back and forth to prison. Now I can say, no, I got about 100 partners that are doing very well. 100 people, over 100 people, if not 1,000 people, are doing very well. Because of some seeds that I planted early on, and I went back to the community and showed them how to make money. I didn't say, hey, go to college like I did. I said, hey, I have a tow truck and I make a lot of money with this tow truck. I build lowriders. I make a lot of money with lowriders. So you should do it too. Let me help you get started. It's only going to cost $2,500. I'm going to put up that money for you. And now a lot of my partners that I grew up with are doing kind of good in a major way. They ain't talking about moving away from California. They ain't talking about the rent's too expensive. They ain't talking about the cost of houses too expensive, because they make money. They doing very well because they own businesses, family. So I came back and I helped them out. So real quick before Instagram shut down, that lets me know I've been on here for a while and it's time to get off. So anyway, y'all, I wrote this book after traveling around the nation. What we got here? If we have been, Chucky, how you doing, family? We have been programmed to get the college degree, which is a master's validation to look down on those that don't then go after the corporate butter biscuits and then look down on the tow truck drivers. The tow truck drivers is going to be the millionaires. Mm-hmm. Chucky Jones, okay. Herbert Whitehead. But yeah, Cali is overpriced to being from Oakland. Cali is only overpriced for a person who don't own a business. The business owners that I know here in California that's making money are making more money than they ever had before, and they ain't trying to leave, so they ain't talking about the real estate costs too much money. I don't hear in the lowrider community, I don't hear in my custom car community, in my people that own transmission shops, muffler shops, tow truck companies, hair beauty salons. I don't hear that the stuff California too expensive, because they know they're making more money. So they don't hearing about a house that's $799, that ain't expensive to them. That's not a lot of money, because business owners generate far more money than college students. That is a historical fact. Well, how else do you think other people work for people? Who you think hiring people is the college? Who's hiring all these college students? The business owners. So business owners are going to make quadruple what a college student would make. If you got 2 or 3 employees, you can afford to hire. You're going to have a person that's got a degree in there, that's making $60,000 to $50,000. That's nothing, because your average business owner is going to make $300,000 and up, plain and simple. I think it derailed my conversation, my thought. I was supposed to be letting Instagram see my book before I go. So anyway, y'all, I traveled the country, been over 15 states, in 2018. And as I saw the problems that was going on, I've made solutions for them. I decided to write this book called Building Black Ownership because I see that America real estate is so expensive and people are being priced out and college students cannot afford. If a college student can't afford it and any other person that's on some type of working a job, a regular plain job, they definitely can't afford it. But business owners, I'm not talking to you because your average business owner should be pulling in 300,000. If you're not, then you need to call me. If you're not, Mr. Business Owner, you need to call me and I can help you with some coaching and get you in the right direction. So anyway, I wrote this book. It's important that we get this book for our young people as well as ourselves, our adults, and we start reading this with our friends and family and have some book clubs talking about it because I put the solutions in this book. This ain't a book of the problem. This is called Monetizing Gentrification, which means how do we make money off of gentrification? We're going to use that gentrification to build Black ownership, family, meaning businesses and real estate. That's all I'm talking about in this book, family. Solutions. So $31 to your door. If you catch me at an event, it's $25 in your hand. So if you like to order one, you can go on my Facebook page and they got it on there with all the information, or you can go to my website at thomastjlofton.com and use the PayPal or whatever, your credit card, debit card, and pay $31 and mail the book out to your door. I will get you a signed copy. If you like to use Cash App, pay $31 and you'll see this logo on Cash App. Money sign Thomas T.J. Lofton on Cash App, and you can send $31 to me, Thomas T.J. Lofton on Cash App. You'll see that logo. If you don't see that logo, that ain't me. And I will mail you the book. So please, if you use Cash App, put your return address on there, your name and return address, and I'll get that book out I will get you a signed book out in the mail. But if you're in California and you in Los Angeles, California, you'd like a book, you can go to Simply Wholesome on Slauson and Overhill. If you're in Los Angeles, you can also go to Malik Bookstore and get the book at the upstairs next door to Macy's at Malik's Bookstore. He carries Monetizing Gentrification. If you're in Long Beach, California, you can go to Shades of Africa, talk to Renee, and you can get the book from Renee at Shades of Africa in Long Beach, California. Make sure you tell everybody that TJ sent you. If you're in Carson, California, you can go to Juicy Juice and get the book right across the street from the Carson Mall. If you are in Atlanta, Georgia, you can go to Axum Cultures next door to Cecili's and get the book. If you're in Lithonia, Georgia, or Stonecrest, Georgia, you can go to the Book Boutique. Y'all hear how I'm dropping these Black businesses, bookstores all around the country. You know what I'm saying? And I love that, talking about my Black businesses. Or I should be in the Black Madonna. I don't know why I can't think of the name. The Black Madonna in Atlanta, Georgia, down the street on Abernathy from Simply Wholesome. The Shrine of the Black Madonna bookstore is in there too. You should be able to find this book in there, Monetizing Gentrification. Or if you're on the We Buy Black website, which is called the Black Amazon, you can get the book off of the Black Amazon. I call it the Black Amazon. They call it the Black Amazon, but long story short, the We Buy Black website, I have it on there, Monetizing Gentrification. You can order it off of there. So anyway, family, get the book, family. It's a game changer. But other than that, if you're in Gardena, California, this coming Sunday, you can go on my website and register to Thomas T.J. Lofton. I'm having an event, giving a presentation of Monetizing Gentrification, and we talking about solutions and things that I have seen traveling around the country, and I'm going to break it down to y'all of all the money that's being made. It's raining money out here, and I'm going to break down all these myths that y'all hearing about. I'm going to be answering questions. I also have my book for sale there for $25 in person. You can get you a signed copy with a picture with me with the book. Y'all know that'll be worth a lot of money in the future because the bigger I get, the more the book is going to be worth. Like if you have a signed copy of Marcus Garvey's book, and Martin Luther, I said earlier, the guy said Martin Luther King was the smartest person. Martin Luther King was not the smartest person. Marcus Garvey was the smartest person because he did it. he created more jobs than anybody else. He created more millionaires than anybody else in our community. So outside of C.R. Patterson, Marcus Garvey and C.R. Patterson was some smart cats because they created jobs and hired people that went to school. Y'all hear what I just said? Marcus Garvey and C.R. Patterson was our smartest people. And maybe C.R. Patterson didn't have that brilliant conversation, but that brother knew how to build cars and create jobs. So Marcus Garvey did things that ain't nobody else ever done. And that's why you don't have Marcus Garvey's name being talked about in schools. We're going to keep talking about Martin Luther King, but not Marcus Garvey. Y'all hear that? White folks do not want us talking about Marcus Garvey because Marcus Garvey created businesses, and that's it. He created business owners and did international business. Martin Luther King did not do that, and I'm not here to bash Martin Luther King. I'm just kicking the facts to y'all, trying to tell y'all what smart is. So anyway, y'all, I've been on here a while. I'm doing my thing, trying to get back to my community. So I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just telling us what does smart look like. And smart looks like to me is a person that comes back to the community and create jobs and create businesses, family. That's very smart because we got a lot of people who stressed out and having problems. I appreciate y'all tuning in. So did everybody get their book? Y'all go on to the website right now, ThomasTJLofton.com. Order your book. Got them fresh off the presses. I'm sitting right here right now. I will sign you a copy and drop that bad boy in the mail. So get your book, Thomas T.J. Lofton, family. If y'all can support me, I appreciate it. That would be smart. Support your scholars, family. We got to support our scholars, not just TJ, but our scholars. Anybody who you see that's out here on the grind to talk to Black people, to help to educate Black people, to create businesses, to create are helping us to do smart things that we need to know about. Someone's trying to start a school, we need to support them. Someone that's got a little school over here, someone that's doing a homeschool, someone that's doing, like I love my Liberated Minds in Atlanta. I fly all the way to Atlanta to go support Liberated Minds. You know what I'm saying? Homeschoolers educating our youth. So if you don't got a young kid or young children, if you don't need my book, donate. Donate anyway. So I would love to be able to go, just like the other day I was at a nonprofit talking to some young men. You can see on my Facebook page, them young men got books. Somebody donated a book to the young man in the room. Y'all see what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff I do. They saw the value in me, and this book got me out there to speak to them young men, and them young men walked away with a book in their hand, and that was powerful, and that was smart. We're not talking about somebody who's dead and gone. We're talking about someone who's currently here that was able to come out there with these young men and take pictures with them. Deshaun, how you doing, family? You know, so anyway, family, that is smart. So get your books, ThomasTJLofton.com. Support your scholars, family. I done been all around the country finding out information to help us with our lives to be in a better place. So if you don't need the book, buy it anyway. Go to that Facebook page, you know what I'm saying, and just go ahead and buy one anyway. And say, TJ, you don't have to mail it to me. I just want you to donate it. If I do mail it to you anyway, give it to somebody. Give it to the young boy sitting out across the street. Oh, check this out. When I was a young man, I had a Monte Carlo and I had bumping music in it back in the days. And I would be sitting in front of my mama's house bumping the music, playing Eazy-E and all the old rap songs, whatever. And they be cussing and talking crazy. And my neighbor, Mr. Freddie, respect. Mr. Freddie turned around and he came out there and he struck up a conversation with me. I was the badass, you know what I'm saying, loud music, just like the rest of these young men. And Mr. Freddie took it upon himself to say, you know what? I'm going to go talk to TJ because he wasting his life away with bumping all that damn crazy music. So Mr. Freddie took it upon himself to come over there and come down the street to me and ask me, could I cut the music down, because he wanted to ask me a couple questions. And you know what he did? He had a book in his hand. Mr. Freddie handed me a book and said, I would like you to read this and come back and talk to me about it. I want to know what you think about it. And I'm looking at him like, you want me to read a book and come back and talk to you about it? He said, yeah, I'm inspired, man. I think you're a smart young man. And I wanted to, it's a lot of good information in that book. And I think you should read it. And I just want to sit down with you And I want to talk about it. I was like, wow. I know Mr. Freddie, and I respected Mr. Freddie. He was a cool cat. He wasn't like the rest of the neighbors that didn't want to deal with us because he always took the time out to say hi. He always waved at us. He knew we was out there messing around doing something bad we shouldn't have been doing, but he took the time and he said, I know you guys are better than that. And TJ, you one of them. I know you're special. So here's a book. I want you to read this book. It wasn't this book, of course. I want you to read this book, and I want you to come down and let's sit down and talk about it. Y'all know Mr. Freddie kept asking me about that damn book. Did you read it? Did you read it? Until I felt enough pressure that I didn't want to let this guy down, so I had to sit down and try to read the book or something. So eventually, me and Mr. Freddie became good friends, and I started sitting down in Mr. Freddie's library, and we would talk about books. Y'all hear what I just said? So this book is one of those kind of books. So you can take this book and go over there across the street to the young man that we complaining about in the hood and say, why don't you read this book? I know you out here selling this crack and drugs and all this old illegal stuff, but why don't you read this book? And I want to sit down with you and us talk about money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of good things. It's a lot of good investments in that book. It's talking about building Black ownership. I know you don't want to be in prison for the rest of your life, but while you have money now, young man, you can be investing in some type of business opportunity. And this brother here, TJ, talks about a lot of business opportunities. So, read this book, young man. And I would like to sit down with you once a week and let's talk about it. And if you know anybody else that's interested, matter of fact, I got a book for them too. And we all can sit down and talk about business if that's okay with y'all. If y'all feel like y'all want something better out of life and y'all want to talk about business and what you can do with money, because you bought them big old wheels for your car, young man. I see you got that shiny, fancy car out there, but I was just wondering if you read this book, you'll find out that you could have bought a piece of land or you could have bought a fixer-upper house out there, and we could go over there and hammer some nails and get your mama out the projects. You know what I'm saying? Or get your mama out of this area, or we can fix this neighborhood up. So why don't y'all read this book and let's talk about it. So this is what we can do as a family, give this book to the young people and start relationships with these people, with these young people. Because most people right now, they don't even want to talk to the young people because they feel like they lost. But they're lost because we're not talking to them. Y'all hear what I just said? Our young people are lost because they're not talking to them. So start a relationship with this book. Give them this book and say, hey, young man, I was wondering if you could read this book and I could talk with you about it. That's an easy way of breaking the ice with them. And then when they read it, and they may come back to you and say, he's talking about buying houses and building apartment buildings and buying commercial buildings and stuff like that and starting businesses and stuff. I always wanted a business. I got about $5,000. I was thinking about buying me another convertible. You know what I'm saying? And putting me some beat on it and some rims. But you think I can start a business with that $5,000? I'm willing to go do that then. Well, I ain't got to worry about going to jail or something like that. That's a great way to start a conversation with these young people. And I'm just dropping on y'all how I got started. Mr. Freddie took the time out to talk to me. A lot of people took the time out to talk to me over the years. So I had a lot of coaches and jegnas in my lifetime that took the time out and they thought that I was smart. How about that, y'all? Now here I am being accused of having an Ivy League education. So apparently some other people think I'm smart, but all it was is somebody took the time out to talk to me and gave me a book to read when I was young to take my mind off of my lowrider and off of these cars and fast women. Now I saw a different side. I saw something different, y'all. That was smart. Coming back to your community, giving back, speaking into these young people's lives. It's up to us to fix our own communities, family. We can't wait till the white people come fix it. It's harder than ever before, family. It's up to us. So anyway, y'all, let's start a relationship with these young people with this book. Y'all see me all the time. Go to my Facebook page. You will see me. Go to my Instagram. You will see me sitting in rooms with young gang members. I will be sitting in the alley, on the brick wall at 11 o'clock at night talking business with young people. I done did that, y'all. I done been in the alley at 11 o'clock at night on Manchester. Not maybe a couple years ago, I remember I was in the alley on Manchester, in the hood, gunshots, and I'm sitting in the alley talking to a cat about real estate, y'all, because he owned a lot of real estate and he needed to talk to me, and he felt comfortable talking to me in the alley at 11 o'clock at night. So I went over there and chopped it up with the cat. So anyway, family, we got to meet people where they are, but that's what I've done because I'm trying to talk to these cats and change their ways and teach them something. So anyway, family, I appreciate y'all for listening in. If you're on YouTube, please click subscribe. Let everybody know. Please click subscribe. When I'm in town, I'm going to be sitting down doing some more of these videos. I got some more topics probably coming up tomorrow. Matter of fact, tomorrow morning, I'll be on, that's another thing I need to talk about. Tomorrow morning, I will be on the radio show, doing a radio show with Rhonda Supreme at 10:30 a.m. California time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on the show, so you're going to have to tune in live because on my Facebook page, because I'll probably do a live while she's interviewing me. And then Friday, I'll be on another radio show out of New York, and y'all can tune in again live. So I don't have all the details to that radio show. So a lot of people think I'm smart. They interviewing me, so they want me to talk about what's going on. And they know I talk about college students and the money we put into education. I talk about real estate and I talk about business. So people think I'm smart because I talk about real estate and business and the problems in the Black community that can make things better. How we can turn around and make things better, family. So anyway, if y'all want to support, tune in. I'll be live tomorrow rising. All right, fam, get your book. Thomas T.J. Lofton, support your scholars, family. Support your scholars. $31 to your door. Don't just buy one, buy a bunch of them. Give them to the neighbors down the street. Give them to that young man that's blasting his music. Because guess what? When Mr. Freddie, he had a feeling that TJ was smart, and I think it paid off because here I am on Facebook Live, one of the biggest speakers in the nation, talking about entrepreneurship. Y'all hear what I just said? So Mr. Freddie helped make that possible. He planted some seeds in my head at a very young age. Y'all hear what I just said? So why don't you plant some seeds in somebody's head by simply saying, here you go, young man. Can I talk with you about it? I'm reading it. Can you read it too? So we can talk about it. I want to bridge the gap. So maybe me and we could sit on the porch one day and, have a nice cold coconut water. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about this book that Mr. TJ wrote. Y'all hear what I just said? ThomasTJLofton.com, family. Buy the book, family. Let's save our communities. Peace. I'm out of here. 2 hours and 19 minutes.